So I was thinking that we can take a few minutes to brush through some minutes that are pending before we invite the client, because today we have got only one client. So we have some minutes with us. I think members, you can see the minutes. About 6 copies or 7, 4. Yeah, 4, quite few. So let's look at minute number 58, held on the 18th of June. Members present, absent with apology, and those in attendance is as indicated. Page 2 and page 3 are the issues we discussed, because we looked at Mukira Technical Training Institute. We looked at St. John's Teachers Training College. We looked at St. Mark's Teachers College Kigali. We looked at Dogoto Teachers Training College. We looked at Kailo Technical and Vocational College. So the specific discussions are as captured on page number 3. As captured on page number 4 and 5. As captured on page number 6 and 7. As captured on page number 8 and 9. As captured on page number 10 and 11. The discussions continue to page number 12 and 13, 14 and 15, 16, 17, page 18, 19, the discussions continue, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, quite a number of them, 28, 29, page 30, 31. The discussions continue, 32, 33, 34, 35, 36, 37, 38, 39, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50, 51, 52, 53, 54, 55, 56, 57, 58, 59, until adjournment on page number 60. It's quite a volume, quite a volume. So you can have somebody propose.
Chair, I propose.
Thank you. Proposed by Mheshimiwa Chifurumodo, seconded by Mheshimiwa Rebecca. Any matters arising? Thank you. We go to minute number 59. Sorry.
Sorry, Chair, to take you back. Chair, there is this, the pending issues like the invitation of the CS to appear before us.
Yes.
We need to do that because it's been quite a long time. We've just been pending issues. And you see that, Chair, most of the issues that are rising here really need his attention. And for these reports to be meaningful, then the CS must be engaged so that we can have a proper way forward. Especially, Chair, there are issues like appointment of board members, issues of asbestos in institutions, which really needs to be acted on very fast. The second issue, Chair, I would wish that our secretariat can flag out the issues, action points, and ways to action, so that we can have a proper follow-up. Otherwise, as it is, a voluminous document like this, it is very hard for us to know which are the issues that need immediate action and who is actioning them. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, thank you. That's a very good observation. I think the CS is likely to appear on Tuesday or when? In 2 weeks' time. Yeah, we had scheduled the appearance of the CS, so I'm sure we shall communicate the specific day. But I think in the course of our recess, the CS will be appearing, so that now. So all I may call upon the Secretariat is that we've had quite a number of issues that have been pending. So maybe you may need to compile all that so that when that letter is done, those issues, especially when we came to TTCs, you remember the issue of asbestos, or quite an issue, the issue of capitation, and a number of issues that we've been piling. So I think, yeah, and Kakati was an issue yesterday, which we can still escalate, as well as Mheshimiwa has actually pointed out a matter that maybe we may need some action points, because like today's minute is 60 pages, it's quite voluminous. You may not be able to, within a short time, be able to grasp all that is required. So thank you for Mheshimiwa. So we can go to minute number 59. 59. I hope this is not as long as the other one. But on minute number 59, we have page 1. We looked at 5 colleges, Musaka Kasa. It's quite Musaka Kasa Technical and Training Institute, Chemasiri Technical and Vocational College. We looked at Okame Technical and Vocational College. We looked at Bungoma North Technical and Vocational College. We looked at Bumbe National Polytechnic. And the discussions therein are captured all from page 2 all the way to page number, the discussions of the 5 colleges, page number 23. So I can get a proposer.
I propose, Chair.
I second.
Thank you. Proposed by Mheshimiwa Boyd, seconded by Mheshimiwa Kaditho. Any matters arising? Thank you. So we can go to minute number 60. Minute number 60. That was held on 24th of June. The membership is as captured on page 1. And on this day, we looked at a few institutions. That was Higher Education Laws Board, HELB. We looked at the Council for Legal Education and Kenya Utalii College. The discussion therein are as captured on page number 2 all the way to page number 11, all the way to page number 10, rather, page number 10. I think in a proposer.
I propose.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa Karido.
I second.
Asante, Mheshimiwa Chifromodo. No matters arising. I think I want to bring up the same point that Mheshimiwa Rebecca talked about. The action points needs to be flagged off so that at least in summary, members can be able to capture the glaring issues thereabout. We go to the last minute, number 61. Minute number 61, that was last week on Thursday. It's a very short minute because you remember Thursday was a bit of a challenging day, so the minutes are captured on page 1. So a proposer and a seconder. Ambassador Sige, I can see you there.
Thank you, Chair. I apologize for coming late, and I want to propose.
Thank you very much.
I second.
Thank you, Mheshimiwa. And that brings us to the end of the minutes. So we can go to agenda number 2.
Before we go to agenda number 2,
Yes.
there was this issue of we imposed some fine to one of the clients, and it was observed that from our end we were to do an official communication. I presume the communication was made so that next time the client comes, he doesn't have a way out. So please, let's be assured from the Secretariat if the client has been well informed and how to do it. Thank you.
So I think that's a good reminder. Allow me give feedback soon. Yeah, please. Mheshimiwa Sige.
And Chair, further to that, I think we had said that we need to look at the entire reports of these fines and get feedback from what happened. Because remember, we have said we need to know whether what we have decided as fines or punishment should be reported back.
By the way, those are decisions. I think we had given them 1 week, you remember? So I think tomorrow I expect that tabling of the same, so that we wanted to know how many, the fines you've done, the surcharge you've given, and what have you. Yeah, so I think tomorrow will be fine. So Secretary, remember to give us that tomorrow. Thank you. So we go to meeting number 3, examination of the special audit report on KU accounts for financial year 2018 all the way to 2021. So I think we can ask the client to walk in so that we can look at the reports. Yeah, we can have some order. So, karibun sana. This is KU. Okay, karibun sana. So I think we can have some formal introductions from the far end.
Thank you, Chairman, and the visitors. I want to mention my name, Ambassador Francis Sige, MB Sotik, member of this committee. Thank you. Karibu.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning. My name is Tubi Mohammed, MP Selo South, and a member of this committee. Welcome.
Chair, my name is Chiforomodo Mangale. I represent the people of Lungalunga in the National Assembly and a member of this committee. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Rebecca Tonkei, MP Narok County, and a member of this committee. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Morning, everyone. I'm Kalido Kiili, Member of Parliament, Yegembe Central, and a member of this committee.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Boy Dwere, Member of Parliament, Kasipul, Vice Chair of the committee.
Secretariats.
Thank you, Chair. Ruth Muhaki Gakuya, Clerk to the committee.
Thank you, Chairman. Winnie Otieno, Clerk Assistant to the committee.
Enoch Mano, Clerk Assistant.
Thank you, Honorable Chair, Vice and Members. Noel Lamtabi, Legal Counsel to the committee.
Good morning. My name is Eunice Liavuli, Research Officer.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Peter Mutavia, an Audit Officer.
Good morning. My name is Alex, the Hazard Reporter.
Are we done? Then let's have the audit team.
Chair, I'm Junior Zambia, Member of Parliament, Kilome constituency, and a member of this committee.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm Moses Kilima, MP Central Mint and a member of this committee.
Thank you. So, audit team.
Thank you, Chairman. My name is Felix Itonge from the Office of the Auditor General, Liaison.
Good morning. Evelyn Kauna, Director, Office of the Auditor General. Thank you.
Good morning, Chair. My name is Pascal Nabana from Office of Auditor General.
Good morning. My name is Judy Mwende, Deputy Director, Office of the Auditor General.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Berry Mosioka, Principal Auditor from the Office of the Auditor General.
Thank you. Vice Chancellor and your team.
Chairman and honorable members, my name is John Okumu, Acting Vice Chancellor, Kenyatta University.
Good morning, Chair and members. My name is Professor Paul Gashanja, the Acting DVC, Administration and Finance.
Good morning. My name is Mwai Samuel, Chief Finance Officer, KU.
My name is Dr. Faith Nkuru, Acting Registrar, Administration and Finance, Kenyatta University. Thank you.
My name is Atichi Alati, Acting Head of Procurement, KU. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lilian Obada, Acting Chief Internal Auditor, Kenyatta University.
Thank you. My name is Maungo Dick, MP Luanda and Chairman of the committee. Karibu sana, Professor and your team, the Vice Chancellor. But one funny thing, most of us from the VC downwards, we are acting. Or did I hear right? I had acting. VC.
Chairman, it's true. Chief Internal Auditor just retired, so we are recruiting. DVC, Administration and Finance, the one seated to my left, is acting because we combined two divisions, Admin and Finance, and we are seeking approval from the Public Service to be given the go-ahead to advertise also.
Mm-hmm.
And the Registrar, Admin and Finance is also acting because the gentleman who is acting DVC, Admin and Finance, was the Registrar. So when the other one finished his term, he is appointed acting, and so the Registrar is also appointed acting. But Chair, we are going to do the recruitments.
And there was an acting, the gentleman right behind you was also acting.
Oh, the procurement officer. That one is also advertised, and we are in the process.
The lady was also acting.
The Chief Internal Auditor, Mr. Chairman, I explained.
You began with that, yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes,
it's good. It's also good to know the period they have been acting.
Thank you, Chair. The Chief Internal Auditor is less than a month and a half. Approximately a month and a half, Chairman.
So, VC, with the current scenario of people acting, I'm now worried, are we, the CFO is substantive?
Yes.
Okay. because we are here.
Chairman, if you allow me,
Is Mheshimiwa Wakili.
I happen to be in the committee on the date we requested for a special audit report. And we asked for a special audit report due to the shortcomings of the answers which were being given at that material time. They were not satisfying or they were not adequate. And none of the, other than the finance officer, was in an acting capacity. By then they were substantive, up to and including the only professor, Professor Mugenda, whom we had invited. Because a number of the contracts and the things which were taking place in KU at that time, Professor Mugenda was there before he was foreign by Professor Wainaina. We had even an issue of the occupation of RAD, which was taken away and permanent buildings were put in. We had also issues with contracts, buildings which were taking place, and a lot of money were invested and they are not taken off. So when we are having people who are...
But the Vice Chancellor, KU appeared before this committee some days back, and during that time, a cross-examination of the books and the financials laid before us, as captured by the auditors, necessitated the need to have a special audit. And the Office of the Auditor General was directed to carry out a special audit for the financial years 2018-19, 19-20, and 2021. And with me here is a detailed report that arose as a result of that examination. And I look at this report, Wanavisi, it is weighty. The report is weighty. The report has been able to flag off a number of key issues that are deep and heavy. What Member Mheshimiwa Kirima has just been trying to ask is looking at the report, and you must be privy to it, and looking at the bench, the people before us who are acting and may not be substantive. Are you in a position to really address these issues in a manner that is competent and you have a grasp of it? Because, Prof, I'm aware you are acting the VC, and maybe you are a few months old. I don't know how old have you. How long have you been acting?
Chairman, 5 months.
5 months.
Yes.
You can imagine we have, this is more than 10 tons of info. Will you be able to execute that?
Chairman agrees. Heavy, these things date back to almost, some of them, 10 years or so. So it will be a heavy task. Yeah. Almost 10 years, yes.
The audit was for 2018 to date, but I can see some issues flagged off because there was an audit that was there. And I think then, I'm told the former VC, Professor Mugenda, was here. I'm told the former VC, Professor Anena, were there. I don't know why Professor Kumu did not find it fit to come along with them, because I expected your predecessors to be here, so that now some of these issues, I don't know, Prof, you didn't come along with them.
Thank you, Chair. I don't know whether I was to get direction or I was the one to look at the issues and decide whether I invite them. Maybe I needed direction on that front.
Yeah, because the reason why I'm saying that is that looking at a summary of the issues that were looked at, the terms of reference of the audit were clear to analyze the budgeting and procurement process for all the stalled projects, to ascertain the authenticity and effectiveness of the expenditure, to establish whether approvals were lawful, transparent, and free from collusion or conflict of interest, and to determine the value for money in all expenditure incurred. And looking at the reports, on VC, we have the audit findings has identified various financial irregularities totaling to a good amount of money, which shall be tabling. And maybe in summary, I could just capture in summary so that we can be on one page. An approved capital work in progress, about 12 projects totaling to 733,589,833. That is in violation of PFM Act 2012, sections 87(1). 2 was a regular Kigali campus establishment. You are aware that no feasibility study was carried out, and the sum of Kenya shillings 511,144,181. And this was done without the council involvement and without any feasibility study carried. 3, we have unsupported KU Children's Hospital expenditure totaling to around 525,316,702. 4, failure to provide an analysis of children's hospital payments totaling to 651,423. 5, under budgeting for recreation center and children's hospital totaling to 339,500,000. 7, mismatch between procurement plans and budgets of about 1,022,500,000. 8, unutilized budgetary allocations, about 6 toll projects totaling to 285,070,193. 9, payments that were done above the budgetary allocations in contravention of the PFM Act totaling to 172,945,431. 10, unaccounted for expenditure, the School of Business, 72,673,790. 11, and supported Kigali property overpayments, about 7,525,060. 12, unsupported consultancy payments for 2 projects, around 20,167,899. 13, unaccounted for expenditure for recreation center, around 40,839,646. 14, unaccounted for expenditure, water tanks for, I think that's for the Faro Hospital, coming to 12,075,727. 15, and reconciled variance for a perimeter wall for the Faro Hospital, accumulating to 52,909,469. 16, and supported disbursements from Ministry of Education, 50,500,000. 17, local purchase orders issued after the delivery of goods, totaling to around 8,502,500. 18, LPOs issued outside the validity period, about 960,000. And 19, there's the Kitui campus, Earth Dam, no value for money, totaling to around 9,024,620. And lastly, number 20, misuse of public funds, that is for the School of Business, the design of the School of Business, around 625,000. So, Prof, those are the issues that summarized into 20. And looking at them, they are a bit weighty, and that's why members were wondering, with you acting and your team acting, and I'm sure, were you in KU when these things were happening? Even if you're in KU, maybe you're not in leadership position. Were you in KU then?
Chair, so that you can answer at the same time. Eh?
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Honorable Chair, I think most of us who visited the university for fact finding. And I don't know whether you have captured. There are several projects which were already started. They were at the foundation stage. They were already stalled, and a lot of money was pumped there. I don't know whether you have captured that.
They are summarized here.
Okay.
Yes.
At the same time, so that also you can answer at the same time. Out of the special audit report, out of a special audit report, I've not seen anything to do with the KU RAD, and it was a contentious issue when we visited the scene. There was a big chunk of RAD which was taken by a purported small owners, as we call them, squatters, kind of slums or something like that. And then there was another section which was taken by very rich squatters, as we may call them, because they had storied buildings and well manicured around and so on. So I expected that one to have been captured because it was one of the issues which we had raised. Unless we are washing it under the carpet to let a public RAD, which is occupied by the university, just go, because I have not seen it here. I can't see it.
The issue of squatters, I think the auditors, but you talked about, I heard you talk about rich squatters and poor squatters, or what are you trying to insinuate?
What I'm trying to imply is that there were two types of squatters. Those who are ordinary with kind of slums in one section, that's kilometer 1 direction, and the other one, which was on the hospital direction, which was occupied by the the Republic of Kenya, the rich. And it's public RAD, and it belongs to KU.
Maybe audit just a minute so that it's the same.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
Chair, I wanted to just emphasize what my colleagues have said, and put it that I was also part of the team which went to Kenyatta, not once, not twice, not thrice, but many times. And Mr. Chairman, I thought I would get my attention.
Yes, please.
One of the areas which we had some contention was the problem between the university and the hospital. So I'm saying the problem with this audit is that none of these people who are sitting in front of us can be able to answer those questions. And as you said, these are weighty issues which needs to be looked into when the people who are responsible can be questioned, because they will be responsible. I'm not sure whether the Vice Chancellor can be able to bear responsibility on issues which we are going to raise.
Thank you. Just before I call in the Vice Chancellor, Auditor, Mheshimiwa Kirima has raised issues concerning land. Your take?
Thank you, Chair. For the special audit, it had the terms of reference, which was not part, the land was not part of it, but the exercise has been done and the issues under land and also the hospital have been raised under the financial audit reports.
Yeah, I think I'm looking at the report that was tabled in Parliament.
The exception I'm taking is that we had Itonga by then, our chief auditor here, representing the Auditor General. Because you see, these others come, most of the time they come. But we hand him here, you can remember, if you can try to jog his memory. We raised that issue of RAD and the KU, and it was part of special audits. Because those were the ones which were the hospital and the RAD. Because those were the issues which were really raising, making big issues out of it. And the stored projects, which were paid, one was paid 600 million, if I do remember, and so on. And it had just started, and it had not taken off. So there were a lot of massive, which we were suggesting, on ordinary opinion, ordinary observation, we were seeing that there was massive misuse or something like that. Because if you hear of 600 million, and the building is at the shrub level, ground level, and it has not started off, and you hear that Kenyatta Hospital was started as part of the university, and then later, it went the way it went, and it became a different parastatal altogether. And then the land issue. The chairman who was there by then, together with us, with all these members of the committee here, can remember, those are the issues which we raised. If it went to be felt and their own data somewhere else, even the secretariat, 70% of it was here. If it went to be felt that, then it's okay, but it means that there was an interference.
I hear you, Mheshimiwa. One thing I can clarify, I look at the report that was tabled in Parliament and the terms of reference that were given for the special audit. I think that's where the departure comes in. The issue of land had been discussed, but now using the terms of reference that were given to, because when you go for a special audit, you go within specific terms of reference. The issue of land was not actually listed as part of the issues, the terms of reference. Am I right there? So I think, so that was omitted for the special audit.
Chair, even the bigger question is whether this committee was consulted in terms of discussing the terms of reference.
It came from your report.
Because
our report was what I'm saying.
it is us who ordered for special audit.
Yes.
So I don't know whether we were consulted in terms of reference. Because land was a contentious issue, should have been number one.
And hospital.
And hospital.
So what we have is different from what we had ordered.
I think the part, the land part is the one which has been, which is missing in the special audit, and it needs to be captured.
I can guide on this. I think what Mheshimiwa is trying to bring out, and the Prof, you're taking note of this, is that the special audit was supposed to be deeper than we have. In that now, the issue of land that has been squatted on is an issue that the audit was supposed to confirm, and the issue between the referral facility and KU. I think issues happened, and some of them were bigger than they are. And I think that's what I'm finding Mheshimiwa trying to raise his concern.
Chairman,
Yes, Mheshimiwa.
Chairman, my suggestion is that we deal with the report that has been brought before us now, but we still have an issue to sort out, especially with the issue on the land, because it was a very serious and contentious issue, whereby we went there as a team, and we found really the land has been grabbed. There is a part that was settled on by the real squatters, and there's another part, a very big section, that was taken over by, as Honorable Kirima said earlier, who is who. And mostly, even we suspected, even the leadership of the university, and a big chunk on it. So now that we have the report on excluding the land, it's going to be under the report, then we'll go back to the issue of the land. But on the same, Bwana Chair, I don't see us going far on this matter, because the people who are involved are not here. And this being an oversight committee, we need to make it very clear and to set an example to other Kenyans who are serving in public offices, because we need transparency and accountability. So whoever is serving anywhere in Kenya should know, if you mess up with public funds, even when you go on retirement, you will be brought back to answer. So I think we need to set a pace and an example by having these officials here, so that they can be answerable and accountable for the deeds they did when they were in office, and to set a pace for other Kenyans to know. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, and because the VC is here, can he explain to us whether the stored projects have kicked off, and at what stage they are, or they are still stored?
Honorable Chair, I want to confirm that I was one of those who visited Kenyatta University then. The issues which have been highlighted by my colleagues are true, and for real, we requested for a special audit. Maybe during the framing of the terms of reference, one or two things slipped away from the auditors. But then I want to confirm that that time KU was in trouble. Right from the management, and there was the issue of the management of the hospital, which was being run privately. I believe this issue was sorted and the hospital was brought back to the university. But again, let us not jump the gun, because we have a CFO who has been there with the memory and history of these issues. Could be he's fit to explain to us what happened and also take responsibilities of whatever kind. So let us not say that so-and-so is not here as long as they've come, because I'm sure the letter was very specific that they should come with any other person that they feel is important to this audit, unless the letter which was written to them is a different one from those the other letters which are being done to other clients. So I want to propose that we give the management time to tell us. So if they are fit, we proceed. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Chair.
Mheshimiwa Rebecca.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I'm of a different opinion. And I want to request that we reschedule this matter because this is a weighty matter, Chair. And the CFO is a very junior officer, very junior. There is no way he can take responsibility. We all know that the burden lies with the accounting officers. And the two accounting officers who were there before are not here. Chair, you know, we are dealing with around 6 point something billion. You know, over 6 billion is not just petty cash. This is a lot of money that can even run the entire education sector, Chair. So we need to have Professor Mugenda appearing here and Professor Wanaina. They should come here and prove and tell us where this money is. And Chair, as my colleague had said, that this should be a lesson to those who are working in offices. You know, officers come and go, but public resources must be handled with a lot of care, because you've been entrusted by God to handle those resources. And if you are there, these will always follow you. And I think this is going to be a lesson to Kenyans, that if you're in an office, work for Kenyans. So, Chair, I propose that we reschedule this matter and have the previous CEOs appear here so that we can deal with this matter conclusively. And Chair, on the issue of land, this is a matter that is very, very emotive. We were there, and we realized that there are so many interests. And that most likely that's the reason why it's not even among the issues that have been handled here. But this must come to an end, because there is no way public land can be taken by people, and we leave it, because this is not business as usual. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mheshimiwa Vice.
Yeah, to conclude before the Vice, because you are the ones now to determine, is that I concur with my colleague, Honorable Rebecca, when it comes to responsibility, because you see, I was among the team which went to Kigali, Chairman, who was sent on an investigative mission. And we found that there was massive routing or massive misuse of public funds. If you are the one, if you went to Kigali, whoever went to Kigali, sincerely can tell that money, there was no value for money. Kind of things we found there. And one wonders which common sense was used to spend over 300 million shillings on what we found there. So one must be accountable, and who is that person? It is not here. If we say that the finance officer will be accountable, if we mean that somebody misused and he must be referred, I don't know how the finance officer can refund the money which he did not order for, or even the acting VC. But if they think that they are capable of carrying out the burden, I have no problem. But the issue, Chairman, as we conclude, is that if we mean that we are referring them now to future dates, then we should retrace why was the audit sanctioned to an extent that it omitted the most key things, LAD and the Kenyatta Hospital. Kenyatta and I, we should know why. Because either there was some interference in our secretariat before the report was taken to the parliament, or who interfered, who sanctioned, why was it filtered? For the auditors acted on what they were given. It's not the auditors. The auditors are okay because they acted on what they were given. But what about who interfered with it? Yeah. Could it be those mafias who occupies that right? They have their hand up to where we are. Could that corruption, which we somehow suspect happened in Kenyatta University, be part of what we are investigating? What is our problem?
Well put, Mheshimiwa Vice.
Yeah, thank you, Chair. Chair, I tend to agree with my fellow members. You know, the responsibility lies with the person who was in office at that time. You know, VC has been acting for, you have indicated 5 months. How can we proceed with this matter? You know, when you look at the magnitude of the issues, you know, we have misuse of funds amounting to 6.6 B. And you know, the acting VC was not present at that time. You know, the former VC went ahead and even constructed the Kigali campus without approval, without the council approval. How can we proceed with the matter? She's not here to answer for her mistakes. So I think, Chair, when we look at the magnitude of the issue, you know, it's not something that should be taken lightly. Once as a committee we established that there was misuse of funds or funds were lost, everyone will blame the person who was in office. So why should we proceed yet the office holders are not here? There's even overpayment and unsupported, unaccounted expenditure. So I think, Chair, with the magnitude of the issues, let the persons who are present, the ones who sanctioned these matters, be present. Thank you, Chair.
Yeah, Chair, I think as we are seated here, it's upon now you fasten your belt now, because I'm echoing the sentiment of my colleague here.
Are you trying? Are you trying to imply the belt is loose?
Yeah, of course. I'm not. It's not loose, but fasten it, because there is a motive issue here about the land.
Yes.
And as a committee, I don't know why it was not captured. And as a committee, on behalf of the members who were seated at that time, would like to know who omitted that part of land. Even leave alone the issues of the hospital. We want to know why the auditors were not subjected into the land issue. And we want to know who filtered it, because it's not you. So even if we have another sitting, let that matter be audited first.
Members, you've been able to, Ambassador, you still have some point on the same?
Yeah, I'm concerned.
Yes, bring your concern.
Chair, that the amount of time we spend in Kenyatta University looking at issues was so depressing, and it took us as a committee a very long time to discuss, even to bring peace between the Vice Chancellor and the former Vice Chancellor. We took a lot of time. And now for somebody to bring, to take it lightly, and even the terms of reference were not consulted. I think it's a serious issue, and the Chair, I would like that we follow the script, that we call those who are responsible. We have spent more time. We cannot allow ourselves to take it lightly.
Thank you. I can assure members, I hear your fears. I can assure members the buck stops with this committee. So I hear you express your dissatisfaction with regard to the omission of an otherwise important aspect of the report. But that doesn't mean that it is out of the purview of this committee. Maybe I'm trying to go through the report that was tabled in Parliament, and the issues of land was part of the issue that was tabled. I want to hear, I don't know whether the VC has institutional memory on the same. I can see that there was a court order. There was a court order, and the court order was in favor of KU, and the court order indicated that that KU had donated 30.82 acres of its land to 670 informal settlers. You'll clarify that. And that part of the recommendations that were tabled in the House then was that the AG was to set up a multi-agency team to facilitate recovery of the encroached land in line with the judgment, because the judgment had been declared, and it was supposed to be, the AG's office was supposed to set up a multi-agency team to recover the land. I think once that has happened, it is upon now, it was your office to follow up. Maybe we wish to hear on the same, because I can see a number of the issues of land. And maybe that's why, I don't know, maybe that's why it was omitted as part of the special audit, because the court had made a decision. But maybe, VC, kindly. And as you address, I wish you to also look at the fears of the members, because from where I see it, to be honest, I think it would be unfair of this committee to put you on the corner, knowing very well that you don't carry the blame. It will be very unfair, because as much as we say that public offices, they are continuous. Whoever comes in takes up the assets and the good name and the bad name. So tell us if you are ready to take up the bad name, or you only want to go with the good name.
Thank you, Chair and honourable members.
Chair, Chair, and even as the PC tells us what is able to do and what is not able to do, Chair, you should also give us timelines on the appointments of those acting, because we cannot continue. There are others after positions I know that are within the mandate of the council, and others even within your mandate as the VC. So you also need to tell us the timelines on those people, the acting positions. Thank you, Chair.
I'm now to bring us to speed. VC, karibu.
Thank you, Chair and honourable members. The first two came from you, whether I have the capacity to be able to handle the issues raised. The special audit chairman was done between 2019 and 2022, but the issues raised date back to as early as 2014. That's why I was making the reference of 10 years in my earlier statement. So, and what the members have raised, this is correct, that I may not be in a position to handle this effectively because there were issues that were really handled by the CEO of the day then. Your second question was whether I was in KU then when this happened. 2010, 2020, I was in management, but I was in charge of academic affairs. So mine was students and research. So I agree with members that the other officers would be very useful, could be very useful to this committee or parliament to answer some of the issues raised. And so I would agree that my former bosses could be in a better position to answer most of the issues raised. Number 3 was the issue of the KU land. KU land squatters occupy around 180 acres, but the 30.8 was surrendered by KU to the people they consider to be real squatters. And as you collectively put it, Chair, the court ruling was in our favor. So it's a matter of seeing how to effect this. And given the population there and the people who are involved, I think it will require a lot of effort and support from government to be able to recapture the land that is in the hand of squatters. Chairman, the other one from the honorable members was the KU Hospital. KU Hospital still operates as a parastatal. And recently we went into negotiations with them to allow our students to use the facility. And we have done an MOU. So our medical students, level 5 and 6, are now using the facility, and we are still in consultation and discussion with them to allow us more space, most of the academic block that was meant to take care of the School of Medicine. So they have allowed us some limited space, but we have signed an MOU, which we are trying to implement. So the hospital is still not in the hands of the university. The stalled projects, we have a number of stalled projects: the Children's Hospital, the School of Business, the Recreational Center. The School of Business, the Children's Hospital, we applied to revive it because this was supported by the government. We have been given zero capitation over the years on these stalled projects, but we are now trying to follow with our parent ministry and treasury to see how we can revive these projects so that we can continue with them. The other one I captured was whether we are pursuing the hospital be brought back to the university. I think there was earlier discussions. I don't know, I can ask one of my team members to respond to this. The latest discussion about the hospital, I think it came to Parliament, it also went to Senate. So I can't exactly recall what was agreed upon, the ownership of the hospital, whether it stays as a parastatal or it reverts to the university as was originally conceived. Chairman, the other bit was on the acting positions raised by the honorable member. I'm acting, but my process was almost completed, but there's a court case that a date has been set for 23rd of July, and hopefully that will be resolved so that the position of the Vice Chancellor at Kenyatta University probably will be maybe sorted. The other one is the one seated to my left, DVC Administration and Finance. I cannot put a timeline, Honorable Member, through the chair, because we are ready to advertise this. This is done by the Public Service Commission. And when we merged the two positions of finance and administration, we thought council approval was enough. But Public Service Commission explained that they are the overall in terms of giving approval. Already, there are indications they have already approved, but we are waiting for their letter. Once we get the letter, we'll advertise this and then continue with the process. So I can't give a timeline because I don't know when we'll get this letter from the Public Service Commission. The ones which I can do are registrars. I've committed to council that in the next 2 months we'll fill these positions of registrar. There's registrar research, there's registrar admin and finance. So those are within my ability to fill. I think those were the one of the chief internal auditor, the lady who is acting here, that has been advertised, and so that one can be filled. I can give a timeline that in maybe the next few months we do interviews and then fill that position. Chair, I hope I've captured most of the issues that were raised.
Maybe some clarifications. You've captured the issues. I think the two issues that members raised, you've been able to touch on them. I'm trying to flip through the report that was adopted in Parliament. And you've just indicated that the issue of land, the 30 acres is what the KU donated to the people. Almost 70 acres is currently encroached on. 140 is encroached on.
Yes.
By what Mheshimiwa Kirima mentioned, both the small and the big characters. There was a multi-agency team that had been proposed. You know, once Parliament makes a declaration, the CEO is supposed now to run through the process. Any advancement in terms of that? Because you've just indicated that you may need government to support. What efforts have you done as much as you've been there for 5 months, so that that land can be recovered back to, because KU owns the title.
Yeah, the title is still one, Chairman.
It's still one.
Yeah.
So those guys don't have any documentation of ownership.
No, they don't have.
And they never appeal the court order.
Let me ask DVC if you have some information on this. They have not appealed.
So meaning that.
But Chairman, as the VC is trying to tell us, and we wish to know from the VC, because there are things which are glaring or they are just so open to the public. By the time one is putting up a storage building, you must get an approval and then document to show that you own the land. If you go to KU, the parts we are talking about, you find that there are multi-storage buildings, both residential, most of them are residential, but they are storage buildings. And the kind of buildings which are there, you cannot put them without approval from the authorities to be, which requires documents and all the necessaries, maybe identifications and so on and so on. So one wonders how. Is it a special engine that it does not follow the procedure, whereby now the university has one title for the whole compound of the university? Is it the university which gave the copies of the title, or it was the buildings were illegal, or they were put without title deeds? So maybe the VC can tell us about it. Because they are not ordinary buildings. I'm not talking of just shanties. I'm talking of multi-storage buildings. Magnificent, big, attractive buildings.
I'm sure, Mheshimiwa, the VC has just indicated that they need support they need support of government, because as you're putting it, this is an act of corruption and impunity, whereby more than 100 acres of a public institution were grabbed, and these people went ahead to do what you are saying. And the committee made a recommendation. And I think the only people who can help KU is this committee, because you did a recommendation, and I think that's what we may need to find out. We may need to move deeper, and because part of the committee recommendations was the Ministry of Land had also been brought on board, because the land belongs to KU as indicated. Now on the second matter, and maybe that now brings to conclusion why I want to imagine that's why maybe in the special audit, the audit was not told to look into it again, because it was kind of summarized. It was kind of concluded. So looking at the TOR for the special audit, the issue of land was excluded basically because I think the committee had made a recommendation, the court had announced itself, and it was now action to recover. I think that's why it was not, they found it fit not to put it as part of the TOR. Yes, Engineer?
Yeah, my fear is that there is likelihood that those people who have occupied that land have title deeds. As much as there is the mother title deed, if you do thorough investigation, you will find out they have title deeds. And I want you to note that there is that likelihood, and I'm not guessing, Honorable Chair.
Are you aware of something, Engineer?
Chair, just note that.
Or are you a tenant in that area?
You are the chair of the committee, just note that.
Chairman,
And
you know why I'm
remember,
supporting my colleague?
I'm also in the lands committee.
Yes, I know.
You know why I'm supporting my colleague in what he is saying? That, you know, in Kenya to have a PNDP and an extra one is not unique. Corruption is so much in a way that you may find even the building you're occupying is not yours. And originally it was yours. You have a title in the house, but somebody else has a title, has taken it to the bank, taken a loan, and you find that you are being auctioned. It's now when you go to inquire why, and you find that there is an extra title. And Chairman,
yes,
for one to put up a building of the kind of I'm talking about, even a 5-story building, which is commercial and tenants are there must be an approval from the county government and so on. So there must be documents which were produced. And I think that the VC should not be taking it kindly that because he has a title, he's settled. No. When you find those kind of buildings which are in your hand because you have seen them yourself, it means that somebody else has documents which he is using. So, and that's why, Chairman, once I rested in the parliament, I was about to be swallowed. Everyone could be swallowed.
By who?
Yes,
by this house leadership.
I'm a witness.
People were there. And I'm saying that that's why even it was omitted in this special audit report because it was sanctioned. Somebody interfered with it without mixing ones.
Chair, to be swallowed is a serious. Yeah, I know, I can understand, but Chair, I think what what we are discussing here tells you that there needs some audit even in our committee. What happened after we visited Kenyatta? What happened to our decisions? Who made the decision to have the TOR, terms of reference? These issues of Kenyatta University chair not able to implement whatever decision was made by Parliament. What can be done? What's the next step? These are issues which are very critical and sensitive and need to be discussed. Maybe even sometimes we need to converge as a committee to discuss our issues and audit what we did during that time, so that we can be able to know where we are, where was the mistake.
Yeah,
of course, we know corruption is there, but
from where I see it, the report I have here captures the aspirations of the committee. That's why the issue of maybe VC, any response to this genuine concerns from members, especially we are now on the issue of land first before we go to the teaching facility.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. Whether they got approval, there are big buildings there, as the members are saying. And if it was they got approval, maybe corruption or how they, maybe, I don't know whether they created their own titles. But what you raised here, which is also important for us, is what we are doing as a university now that the court ruled in our favor. I'm not sure whether the parliament is supposed to give their recommendations in this so that something is done with a multi-agency team. I'm not very clear on this. Now that court gave a favorable ruling to the university, is their role parliament is supposed to play before anything happens? Chair, that clarification maybe could help the university.
I said that part of the committee recommendations, this committee, and I read, the committee recommends that the AG sets up a multi-agency team to facilitate recovery of the encroached land in line with the judgment. That's what the committee recommended. The Ministry of Land, in collaboration with the National Land Commission, immediately commences and concludes the process of issuance of title deeds to the 670 genuine squatters. And 3, the Office of the Auditor General reports on the implementation status of the above 2 recommendations in the next audit cycle, which I believe they haven't done. So I think this committee, I mean, what the VC is saying is asking, the committee made a recommendation. We now need to follow up with the implementation committee because this is what was done. And I think, will it be fine? Yeah, I think members, maybe what I missed, because we have a report that was tabled in the National Assembly and was adopted. Now, once this committee makes a declaration, there's another committee on implementation that's not supposed to ensure that order is effected. So I think I therefore direct that the committee, the secretariat will find out, because we needed a report that that land has been recovered. The 100 acres have been recovered because we made a recommendation. Now, assuming that recommendation is not adopted, that's now when we can escalate it to a further level. So I think we may need to find out if the committee on implementation actually, because this is a report of 2023, it's now almost 3 years ago. So something ought to have happened. So I think when can we have these reports?
And as our committee chair, we need to have some timelines.
Yes.
We are talking about 2023,
exactly.
And we are now in 2026.
And I pray that this committee is able to conclude this issue of KU, to Marzani's story, okay, so that now KU can now be free to do its business. Those who are culpable take responsibility. Yeah, so I'm guided well. So I think let's find out. Maybe I'm sure this committee will want to know what, after you recommended, what happened on the issue of land. Because I think it's in black and white. The court made a decision. This committee made a recommendation that should be followed up. So I think it's also good for the VC. You also need to follow up because you are the CEO now. You just can't hold your hands and unyamaze. You need to follow up and see. So you need to liaise with the office of the clerk, so that now they can keep advising you as to where we are on the issue of land. Because I think the committee had recommended that the auditor should follow up, or rather should report on what has happened, and it appears zero has happened to date. That's on the matter of the land.
And on that matter, Chair, I think we need to engage the ESCC and the DCI.
So, Professor.
Chair, I think you have heard me.
Yes.
I think as a committee we need to engage the DCI and the ESCC to look into that matter. Because if we go through the implementation, it might take long.
No, we're just following our because, you know, once we recommended, that's why I was drawing in the attention of the VC. The VC has not reported to us that what recommended is been unable to do. I think his predecessor didn't actually follow up on what, because once you recommend, we leave it upon now the executive, or rather the CEO to carry on the issue.
Yeah, that's why I talked about timelines.
I wanted to.
I'm on the mic. I'm on the mic. Thank you. So, what I'm saying...
Chair, before you conclude.
Mheshimiwa Sige, you're interrupting the flow of my thoughts.
Okay. Mine is disrupted.
Okay, I allow you. Conclude yours then. Speak it up.
We are in a problem.
Yes, we are in
a
crisis.
We have distractions.
Exactly.
I was saying that whatever Mheshimiwa Zambia has proposed is a very critical proposal, because so far nothing has happened. Zero. So why can't we recommend as a committee that DCI and ESCC be brought in, so that they can be able to do something which can hasten the process and make a decision? Because, Chair, 5 years will elapse when we still are talking about this issue of Kenyatta. And we spent a lot of time as PIC in Kenyatta University, several times.
Thank you.
We were even depressed when we were doing those things. So
I'm hesitant to call in the DCI now, because I wanted to find out from the implementation committee what they have actually done. I think in a span of a week or so, I'll be able to give direction on this.
And another thing, Chairman,
yes,
as I support my colleague, is that this is a hot matter, a very serious matter, even though we are taking it, we are addressing it like it's a cool matter. To an extent that when we were dealing with it lastly, and instructing the owner of the office by then, the accounting office, and by then to pursue, as you have advised the current professor to pursue. You know, when he tried to pursue, he was suspended from the university. And he kept out for almost 1.5 years. Is this committee, which sat on its position and he insisted that he should go back and finish his period? So it's not just a matter as we are taking it like that. Professor Wainene was suspended, and there was a big problem about it. So there is a lot of influence, powerful characters in this Republic of Kenya as it relates to grabbing KU property, misuse of KU money. And I'm not saying that we are at risk, but the much noise we are making here is not finishing in this room. These things are getting out. And I tell you, Chair, is that we must stand our ground to make sure that public property is protected, even if it means looping in the anti-corruption and whoever is concerned, because the DCI and so on, because this is a matter whereby, as it is said, Kenyan issues as it relates to land is the motive But you start hearing that somebody has disappeared or has been killed or something like that. But this is not a matter which we can take lightly at all costs.
I hear you, Mheshimiwa Kirima, and what you are saying, it is a fact. Mheshimiwa Sigei, you are the Provincial Commissioner of Nairobi then. You are the PC of Nairobi when these things were happening to KU. Were there such powerful people that may have encroached on this land that you may...
Chairman, I am now the MP Soto, and I'm fully occupied by the problems I have in Soto. But you can go on records and check what happened. Because that's why we are saying the people who are supposed to investigate must go back and see what really happened, particularly for the implementation. We're now talking about, Chairman, about 2022, 2023, when I was not there. And all we need to do as a government officer is to allow government to take action according to the information they get from the investigation. So we need to move fast, and I think omit my name there because now I am not there. I am the MP sorted. But if people can go to on record and check what really happened at that time.
I recognize.
Chair, kindly. Chair.
Just before, I think I need to give a rebuttal to Mheshimiwa Sigei. We recognize the fact that you are the MP for Sotik. That was just trying to find if we can jog your memory if there's something you could remember then. But you've probably put it right. That you've registered your
I have good memory, Chair, but I left Nairobi in 2006, so it's quite a while.
Mm.
Yeah, 20 years.
Chair, on that matter, I think as a committee we need to do a letter to NLC, and I think they will be able also to assist in that. We need to engage all the bodies. I'm in the committee. If we do a letter to them, they will visit the area and they will cover that land.
I don't know. Have they visited that land since the court order Wanavisi, National Land Commission?
I can't remember, Chair. I don't know if my colleagues, any of them remembers.
Mm-hmm. The officers, CFO and the DVC.
Honorable Chair, there have been visits, of course, by the Honorable MPs. We also had a visit by our council, and it involved the office of the chief, the office of the president. We have had very many people visiting that land, but no action has come out of it.
Chair, I will personally pursue it through the NLC. Do a letter and I will make a follow-up.
Maybe we may need some kind of information from the National Land Commission with regard to this matter. So probably I'll ask that the clerk will do a letter to NLC. We'll need to hear their take on the issue of land with regard to KU. Now, on the second matter that was left on the TOR was the issue of the referral. And you see, Chairman, VC, we've not gone into the issues. We are still talking about the TOR. The issue about the referral facility. In the initial stage, or rather in the initial dream, was that the referral facility was going to be part and parcel of KU. Things happened, as Mheshimiwa Kirima is putting it, and it was made a parastatal. I heard you say that you now have an MOU with the referral facility. This committee had some recommendations, and part of the recommendation was this committee had some recommendations, and that's why I'm a bit. The recommendation was the committee observed that, in fact, the Departmental Committee on Health looked at the matter, and the Departmental Committee. Let me just read what the report was tabled. Then. The committee observed that on the land on which the referral facility is built, it is owned by KU, who possess the title deed. Is that correct? You still possess the title deed. The committee observed the Departmental Committee on Health and the Select Committee on Implementation of the 12th Parliament recommended that the legal notice number 4 of 2019 be revoked and the hospital be reverted back to the university. So that is what the committee recommended. And you see now, the both committees, actually these were 3 committees now, this committee and the other 2, they recommended that Gazette Notice number 4 was supposed, of 2019 was supposed to be revoked, and the university, the referral goes back to the university. It also observed that the procedure for declaring the referral hospital as strict operation and the legal notice number 4 was illegal, and it was unprocedural. And so I don't know, your students currently, your students and the referral, how do they relate?
According to Chair, the MOU we signed with the hospital, they've allowed us some space, and they've allowed only a small category of students, the 50 and the 60 years. So other negotiations are ongoing in the MOU, but the council is also concerned about the ownership. But since I came in, we have not pursued this. And what we are reading may be something that we need to now check with my colleagues here at council. Again, council changed. The old council, and now we had a new council. So that also disrupted the thought on most of the issues that have been raised and agreed upon.
Maybe since you were not here by then, a little bit of what had happened is that somebody was about to retire from Kenyatta University. Somebody was about to retire from the leadership of the CEO of Kenyatta University. And she wanted to create work for herself. And the university was running well. The hospital was running well, where it was under Kenyatta University. And then they went to State House in the morning. And they waited for the president to wake up. And they informed him and what they wanted. And somebody in his mind, it was stated in this house. I'm just repeating what was stated in this house. May I repeat? Because if I am wrong, I will withdraw.
I just wanted to find out on what basis.
Yes, if I'm wrong, I will withdraw, Chairman, but I'm telling you what was said here. And because you are not there so that you can get it. And then somebody requested. And then somebody called the government printers. Can you cassette that hospital to be a parastatal? That's why it was becoming illegal, Chairman. That's why the legality was coming in, because I was part of the investigating committee. I'm giving you a background of how it was. And it was just gazetted without following the procedure. And that's why then there on later, this committee found that it was illegal, and it was declared that the university go back to, the hospital goes back to the university. It was just as simple as that. There were no complications. But building, planning, the idea was part of the hospital. And then the students from Kenyatta University were locked out, and they were going to Kiambu Hospital, where they were subjected to a lot of suffering, traveling in the morning, being kept waiting. All those things were brought before us. And now we found it was necessary to have the university the hospital reform back to the university so that they could fulfill their dream, the dream they had initially. So that was just a simple matter as to that effect.
And
we are Kenyans.
And Chair, I wanted to follow that issue.
Yeah, I hear you, Mheshimiwa.
Just one point.
No, I hear you, and I think you seem to have institutional memory.
It does. Even us, we have. Wanted to. We are there. So, Chair, what I wanted to ask was, when the Vice Chancellor says we have done an MOU, does it mean that they have given up on the acquisition of the hospital, or what's up? And they says that they are now continuing to negotiate for more space. And you remember what Mheshimiwa Kirima mentioned about what Kenyatta University went through, going to Kiambu to take students there for practicals, it was harrowing. And yeah, that's why we are saying this thing, as you said, I want to use your word, it's weighty. So if it is weighty, it needs some serious consideration.
And the chair, you can imagine they are students and they are still pleading to be allowed to get into their own hospital. I think there is a lot of unfairness. Their own in their land. And the VC is still struggling to do MOU as a university, so that again be allowed.
I think now it now comes clear to me why the terms of reference for the audit was what happened. Because I'm trying to avoid the word tamper because I have no evidence. Bwana CEO, this committee was very magnanimous in its decisions. And I'm just reading an extract from what was said, that KU medical students should be allowed unrestricted access to the hospital students' wing. You know, there were very rich recommendations that came from this committee. Now, it appears that these recommendations went to the shelves and were never followed. So, you know, when we make a decision, we leave it upon the CEO to now follow up. Reaching a head wall, you revert for assistance because from what is happening, it appears that there were very powerful forces, for lack of a better word, that tried to micromanage and interfere with the management of KU. And that's why some of us who are supporting this government have issues when some people want to bring in the former president who actually failed this country. And I think I have no apology for that because part of the decisions we have here, as a result of that gentleman who wanted to micromanage KU, and some people right now take us back to those days. And I think as a committee, we shall do what we feel is right to ensure that the decisions of the committee that were actually discussed in the National Assembly and tabled are implemented. Because, you know, finally there was an order to revocation of Gazette Ordinance number 39 of 2021, which now excluded the VC and the Director of Medical Services as a representative of the University of the Board of Directors of the referral facility. Are you a member of the board?
Chair, let me try to answer. The hospital was conceived as a university hospital, and we sought for a loan from whatever and did the hospital as a university. It was China, Mr. Chairman.
Talk through the chair.
And that's why, Chair, the research component was emphasized. It was basically supposed to be a university hospital up to the time it was done and finished. But as members, honorable members have observed, there were some forces that came in and things changed. So these MOUs that we are signing with the hospital, they are out of desperation because we couldn't do anything. The hospital is there. We are looking for hospitals in Kiambu, Nyeri, and this thing is in our compound. So we are doing this out of desperation, and the negotiations to allow us, now we are begging, but it was our hospital, so to get something out of the hospital. So that's why we are still negotiating, because all of this was going, and Chair, all the recommendations you have read, and we just requesting that we get help from this, from Parliament to help us enforce this, because really the hospital was a Kenyatta University hospital in all its plans. But now, because of the other things that the honorable members have mentioned, we were losing it. And that's why when we now get a chance even to get those small components of it, allow our students, have some staff, offices and labs, is still something. But with those recommendations and resolutions, if you can be helped, Chair, that will be the direction that the university will wish to go to. Thank you, Chair.
So, Manasio, I think that is right. So you've members have captured their sentiments, and I think you've observed that. So I think we leave it upon this committee to follow up on its recommendations, and as well as the implementation committee. I think we will liaise with our colleagues on the other side, because once a committee of parliament makes a decision, the committee on implementation is supposed to implement. I think we shall liaise with our colleagues to find out how far that has gone. But you can be sure, Wanasio, it is in the interest of this committee that one, the land that has been encroached on reverts back to the university as declared by the court. And again, it is the desire of this committee and strong standing that the referral facility should actually be a university facility, because I think that is what was envisaged. So I think that brings us now to the end of that section of the two issues, the issue of land and the issue of the facility. Now we now go back to the issue of theft. Manasio, you aspire to be the VC of a university that has been is now limping because people went in and close to 5.9 billion, give it 6 billion, massive looting. And one thing I must say from the onset is that I've gone through the reports, and to be frank, there are people whom we shall be making serious recommendations on without fear of anything, because when, as Mheshimiwa Rebecca said, when somebody is an accounting officer of an institution, we expect that he or she becomes a good custodian of public resources put under them. I think from the report was for 2018-19, but the issues being tacked on relate to 2015-14, looking at it. And some of those guys are around. I think this committee will be coming out very strong with the same. And therefore, Bwana CEO, is my considered opinion that from where you are seated, you may not really have the issues at hand. You may not have the institutional memory, neither would you have the feedback required. But I think we need two people to come along with you. One is the immediate former VC, but I think, are there 3 or 2 VCs? I think there are 3. We have Professor Mugenda, who was the VC when some of these issues happened, and Professor Enena. There was no professor between the two of them. There was no VC between the two of them. Yeah, so I think we may need to have those two. I thought they'll be here today, so we came prepared for them. But I think we'll direct that, let them be. Yeah, I think direct that they be invited, specifically the VC, the former VC of KU, Professor Mugenda, the former VC of KU, Professor Enena. They be invited, and it's important that now, do you have a copy of the special audit with you? You do. It's important that they be versed with the contents of the reports before they come. Because this committee, going by what we have looked at, some decisions may be far-reaching, and I can assure the public that the looting that we saw in KU and the massive inappropriate behavior that we saw will actually have to be called to account, because as Mheshimiwa said, we do not want to see public property being misused or being looted or being unaccounted for. Maybe what I may just want to hear from you is about the stall projects, because they are part and parcel of the reports. Have you improved on them, or they are still the way they were?
Thank you, Chair. The university has been facing serious financial challenges and have been receiving zero capitation. But this year we are engaging to get funds for the Children's Hospital. So we do not know whether we'll be allocated any funds to continue the project.
The VC is confirming that the projects are as they were by then, and that was 2023.
Yeah, through the chair, nothing has changed in those projects. The Children's Hospital was foundation level, School of Business, foundation level, a recreational facility, I think, had not been started.
And through the chair, I think we also recommended as a committee, anytime you get any funds, you make sure that you just get one project you complete, because you've started so many projects around, around 6 to 10, and they are all on the ground floor. And there's no value of money in that case, Honorable Chair, because if they could have used the 600 million, they should be utilizing one of the projects, and they should be complete by now.
Furthermore, Chair, a small comment. Since we started talking about this Kenyatta University, there has been no mention of the council, University Council. What are they doing? Is there anything they have talked? I mean, you talk about this committee only. What has the University Council done? I mean, we are not hearing any mention of the University Council. We are getting concerned.
VC.
Chair, as far as these projects are concerned, the University Council, like the Kigali project, the University Council was consulted, and I think they gave their approval. And from the report here, I think what delayed was the approval from the ministry. But the University Council is always involved in all the projects that we do. The current council, I think there were also changes in the council during the time of the changeover between Professor Wainaina and the acting person was there briefly, and then Professor Mugenda. So there were changes in councils, but councils are always involved in all the decisions that we make at policy level. So although we have not been mentioning them, but I mentioned briefly about the Children's Hospital. The council has been involved. We recently had a retreat to discuss the stall project. Council was involved. We have done our report to the ministry, and the council is making an appointment with management to see the CS education. So council is always in this, although maybe they have not been coming out explicitly.
Yeah, I think that's okay. So among the issues that the audit looked at, the special audit, some of them may need Professor, the ones you've said. But there are some issues that are more administrative and fall within. For example, we have an issue, for example, purchase orders issued after delivery of goods. Yes. How can that happen? You deliver goods and then you give the LPO, you know?
And that's why, Chairman, we need even a procurement officer who was there by then, not the acting one.
Mm-hmm.
The one who was procuring, or the ones who are buying those goods without following the procedure.
You know, LPOs issued outside the validity period. There's a procurement officer here. Yes. Yes, officer.
Acting one is here.
Mm-hmm. Let's hear you.
Can respond.
Thank you, Chair. I appreciate that. And from the records I saw, it's true. One, LPOs were item supplies were done against LPOs which were not valid, meaning they had gone beyond the 30 days validity period. That was a mistake. We conceded, although I was not in the office then, but the records show for sure what the audit has captured is true. And what I gathered is that, like for the LPOs that were used, which were invalid, concerns the equipments, the tippers and the boreholes and all that. The issue was that there were issues in the implementation of the projects, and that happened. But it's true, it happened. It was a mistake, and we considered. The other issue was about LPOs that were issued after the supplies had been done. It's true, I saw, and it's true. We also considered, but what I want to assure the chair and the committee is that from the initial audit, that is no longer happening, and we have mechanisms put in place to take care of that. Thank you, Chair.
Chair, we are concerned about that time, not now.
Yeah, I think, Secretariat, as we talk about the former VC, it's important that even the former procurement officer, how many do you have before you during this period in question?
We had two. We had head of procurement, and we had a deputy. No, we had two managers. One was handling projects, and one was handling other supplies.
So I think as the former VCs appear, those two also must appear. So I think, Professor Okumu, you may need to have them appear. I think our clerk will write the required letter so that they appear. Because some of these issues, totally, you'll agree with me, they're unprofessional, is it?
Yes, Chair.
Yeah, total unprofessional and blatant abuse of procedure. So having looked at this, I think I wouldn't want us to look into the issues. Again, when they come, we look into them again. We shall be doing it double. So members, I will propose that having looked at this, we can meet.
Chair.
Yeah, I'm looking at the time we can invite them. So
before we conclude, I wanted to ask the Vice Chancellor about the current student enrollment in the university and the number of students who get access to the hospital and the minimum they've been given, and what figure do you want to be allowed to go to the university? And Chair, the last one is to ask the procurement officer his qualifications.
Does the university, does the hospital have our recommendations? Does it have our orders? Possibly they are not acting because they are not in favor of the university because maybe they don't know what we recommended. Are they aware that we have recommended that the hospital belongs to the university, so that at least even when they are handling the university, they will be handling the university with soft groups, knowing that the hospital belongs to the university. Because you see, like the way we are talking now, the way I'm getting it, it's like if they don't know there are some wonders, the hospital doesn't know that there are some wonders against it. They are all acting in a very strong manner to the extent that they are the owners. You see, when we are talking of squatters, when they declare themselves independent from the university, it means that they are part of the squatters. Yet they are not. In actual sense, they are not, because it's the university which built the hospital. So that one should come out. As I finish, the idea of degazetting the university, the hospital, it will not come. It will not. Unless the implementation committee stand up and stand to be counted. Because I told you that part of the Kenyatta University problem with the hospital is partly in this house. It won't happen. Sorry to say so.
Well, yes, Mheshimiwa.
Chair, you should also consider that the council should also appear then, because I can see there were issues that were raised, that some of the things that one of the accounting officers did was without the approval of the council. So the argument might arise that the approval was done. So maybe we can have the chair of the council appearing.
Through the chair, I tend to support Mheshimiwa Tonkei Because when it comes to the second issue, there was a failure even to obtain prior approval for the establishment of the Kenyatta University Kigali campus. You know, it's they didn't seek approval. You know, they established the campus, and later on, that's when they got approval. So I think it's important to also invite the council, because whenever we talk about approval issues, you know, they should be there to confirm if the approval was there or not. Thank you, Chair.
Well, I'm trying to look at a situation where we can be able to have a conclusive matter, because it's my prayer that this committee, the 13th Parliament, concludes on the issue of KU. That's my prayer. And believe you me, we are going to sit severally. We'll call you here many times, because we want to conclude this matter once and for all. We want to make decisions that are far-reaching. People who are culpable, for example, whoever said Kigali campus, it's a negatory project, for example, is it? Expenditure. We need to know who carries the blame. Once we know who carries the blame, we shall declare our declarations on him, is it? We need to know who is this that did ABCD. We make declarations. So it's my prayer that this committee will be able to make declarations that will conclude this matter, so that the VC, as you take over minus some of the things to Marizal and I. So that will be okay. So I think we will summon you in a short while. I'm looking at my diary here. We are full, but it will not go beyond 3 weeks. We shall summon you. But I think I want to say, direct rather, you come with the former VCs who will also be summoned directly, and the procurement heads. The CFO has been there, is it? You've been a constant factor. CFO. Yes, VC.
Thank you, Chair. There was another CFO who is deceased now. I think he was there most of the time. Why do you come in?
I became CFO in 2019.
Oh, Juicy.
Yes.
Okay, so the one who was before you is deceased?
Yes.
Okay.
And Chairman, as we conclude out of record, let's know from the Vice Chancellor if Rwanda University is still there, because it was already our own. The land was ours. We were not renting. There were a lot of computers. There were a lot of other properties. Let's know if it was sold, because there were some recommendations there that we should dispose of it so that we could not continue losing money by paying rents and rent to the Kigali city.
Yeah, I have asked questions I have not answered.
I was trying to avoid that because it's part of the report.
Yeah, it looks like we are now.
Yeah, I was trying to avoid discussing the report because I want to the two VCs to be here. So I think.
But the issue of
you can hold your
enrollment here is not. We can't wait for anybody else.
The issue
I'd ask for enrollment, student enrollment.
Where?
In this university.
Currently.
Now.
Or now?
Yes, and I asked for the qualification of the procurement officer. These are valid questions.
Okay. The enrollment, VC, what's your current enrollment?
Thank you, Chair. Enrollment has two categories. One is students currently enrolled in the semester that we are in, that we are ending, is about 40,000. But total population of Kenyatta University, because when I say enroll this semester, postgraduate students don't enroll every semester. And there are also postgraduate students who are not on campus because of various reasons. Otherwise, the total population could be around 65,000 if you include everybody.
Procurement?
Thank you, Chair. I hold a diploma in supplies management from the former Kenya Polytechnic, examined by the Kenya National Examination Council. I also have a Bachelor of Commerce, marketing option. I currently undertaking a Master of Science in Procurement and Logistics. I am a member of KISIM and a licensed supply chain practitioner. Thank you.
Well, thank you. I think having said that, VC would wish that we step you down because we've been able to look at the nitty-gritty of our discussions. And maybe in the next 3 weeks' time, we'll call you with the team. And I think I'll request our secretariat. It is a dedicated day for KU. So I think don't mix that with other teams because we really want to dig deeper and see what it means. And as we go into this, we shall call you severally because we want to conclude this matter, so that now, so don't tire. We'll keep calling you until we exhaust the matters, and we are able to put a report. Before I conclude, Mheshimiwa Mwenje walked in. Maybe you could introduce yourself.
Thank you, Chair. My name is Mark Mwenje, MP Embakasi West. I'm a member of this committee. Apologies, I was in the constituency. There's a bit of traffic on the way. Chair, I'd want just to question, if the issue of the referral hospital is there, should we perhaps consider bringing maybe the CEO as well? Because last time, Chair, there was an issue of students, medical students accessing the hospital. Yeah, it's been discussed, apologies, but I remember it was an issue which perhaps needed, if it's there, maybe as you invite the VCs, should we perhaps consider having the CEO or the chair? I think Mugenda was the chair then, now I think somebody else, to address some of those issues, so that we deal with it comprehensively, rather than, because you've committed one day. If we have it, all of them one day, we can address all those issues once and for all.
Yeah, thank you for the observations. I can assure you, Mheshimiwa Kirima has prosecuted that issue pretty well. Though you've brought in the issue of the CEO being invited, I think we shall, because the issue of the CEO of the referral hospital, we shall do the invitation, so that on that day we shall sacrifice and do all that. So, Prof, your last comments.
Chair, we've been well guided. We'll follow instructions. If you're invited, we'll come with the information as much as we have, plus, of course, our former bosses. And I agree with the honorable member that CEO of the hospital and the chair of that board are also useful members to shed light. I think you also asked whether the VC sits in the board. I think they changed. The VC does not sit in the board anymore. So those are some of the issues. Thank you.
I think with all that said and done, I want to wish you safe travel back to KU as you execute our other issues. Now, I wanted to... Mheshimiwa Kirima, order. Professor, the meeting ended. Yeah, so I think I was saying this, from what is before us, we have a serious and weighty matter with KU. And it is we who are likely to save the institution. Because one, we have that serious encroachment of more than 100 acres of land by what Kirima is saying, powerful individuals. We need to settle that matter. Two, the issue of the hospital being made a parastatal, yet the Bunge made a recommendation that that gazette notice be revoked. So I think it's a serious matter. And number three, the theft that happened. You will see 6.1 billion disappearing is not something simple, yet we have people who have impunity. I think that day's meeting, we may need to make decisions. So I think we shall have our in-house to really come through. So I think I may ask our secretariat, members need to really be privy to the audit findings. You need to really understand the audit findings so that now, when we come for that meeting, we can be able to bring it out. So I think that was our agenda number 4. unless we have any other agenda.
Man, as you conclude that one,
yes,
so that we must bear in mind, you know, I've been in this system for quite a period, and I know we are fighting a very strong, entailed and entrenched cartels as it relates to Kenyatta issues. And I know our secretariat is vulnerable, exposed to those powers to be, because from 2013 is when issues of Kenyatta University mainly started. And even the buildings I'm talking about, a number of them were put in between 2007 and 2017.